banjo's tuned here. Well, that's about good enough, maybe. Oh, no, it's not. Well, we're gonna get a little bit of tuning there. Down if I play. There we go. Now I can reach my banjo. Yep, it's just below the camera. You can't see it, I promise. Appreciate y'all tuning in on this first ever live stream. It's there we are. Let's see. I don't even know what notes he's supposed to be. See, how's the audio out there? Let me know in the comments when the audio's good. G string sound about right.
Good, yeah.
All right. Anybody know what the second string on a banjo is supposed to be tuned to? Oh, maybe a B. Yeah, how about that there? Turtle wants to play a little bit today. You know, I was wanting to go out today, but you know, it's a little hot outside, so I figured we'd just spend a little time in the studio. Just, you know, getting to know this new live stream setup. You never know what's going to happen. Maybe we got a little problems with the feed. We won't know unless you how everything's going. Y'all know me by Terrell. Probably hadn't met my brother Daryl or any of my other brothers, Harold, and we got. I already tell you about Daryl. You know me, Terrell, and Harold. You know, I hadn't been talking to my family very much lately, so kind of names sometimes. But yeah, so let me tell you a little story about my father. See, when we were kids, he didn't really give us much, except for an RC car. We'd go out there with that RC car every day, and boy, we play with it. We'd tear the batteries up. But the best times I remember is that old RC car. But you know what happened one day? We were out there playing and broke a gear. And since, you know, my dad named us all with rhyming names, you can guess that he's pretty much a D-bag, and he wouldn't buy us that replacement gear. And from that point on, I vowed to myself, I'd always get my son a better RC car than I had. Yeah. Well, looks like the live stream is... I don't know how the audio is. I don't know how the live feed is, so you're going to have to let me know in the comments how it is, because I can't view it while I watch. But maybe one day we'll have enough parts
to be able to do that at the same time. And I don't know, it's a lot going on to do. But as Terrell said, it was a very hot day today. It's going to be worse as time goes on into the summer, I'm sure. But we chose to do a little bit of instead. And yeah, you know, play a little bit of Terrell. I really want to get outside, do some Terrell videos here soon. Just, I don't know what to talk about anymore because Terrell's pretty much played out all of his life already. I mean, as he told you, his daddy wasn't the best, but he vowed to have better RC cars than what his daddy gave us. So, let's see, what else could we do today on camera? You know, I got a little bit of time this afternoon. I've gotten all the big rocks done out of my to-do list. So, honestly, I was kind of wanting to wrench on some rigs, and since I got a lav mic, I can literally hide from you down. I think that's going to work out pretty good. Let's see, what needs to be worked on? We've got the Sherpa. We do have the Sherpa build. I also have my cameraman hiding back there, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and he will do his best to find them and read them. But in the meantime, I need to find where my Sherpa went. I had an employee help clean up, and of course everything got moved because he helped and I didn't do it, so the challenge. But it seems like I could probably at least bolt this axle in. Yeah, I'll spend a little time doing that. Let's see here. We're going to need our links. We need the links of the links. Now, I think this live stream setup is going to be pretty enjoyable because sometimes we really don't need to do a fancy edit on it, and as we get better on it, it may even look like we've already edited it. Actually, is this really a live stream, or did I record this previously? You'll never know. Unless you ask questions down below, and my cameraman helps me out by telling me what y'all are saying.
It's a little glitchy. We're going to try to work on that.
All right, so it's a little glitchy, he says. Maybe we can turn down the bit rate a little bit. And maybe, just maybe, I can find the links that I'm looking for. It's going to be in one of these. Whole bin of parts. I got bins now. Looks like Dan put a bunch of parts together that don't belong. Oh dear. There's Capra. One set.
We're asking about a
Yes, the links for the Rift.
What about a motor and ESC combo?
That could happen. What would I use in the Rift? Personally, go to 2200, 2100 Puller Pro L. I do believe we have the KV in the L now because of the Losi laser nut that came out. It needed it first. But for the Rift, yeah, I would use that combined with a Mamba X would be my choice for the Rift. Sensored system, you get that low speed control. You still have a whole lot of wheel speed and as much torque as you need and as much low speed control as the gear down of the Rift will allow at least. That is what I would use for the Rift. I do need to install the links on the Rift. However, I also need to get another new shock. Kind of bent that one, bashing around. And I'm not going to put the links on with a broken shock quite yet. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Oh, there's got to be links around here somewhere. You know, got it all cleaned up in here, and first world problems of actually finding the parts now. They got to be hiding somewhere. This looks like a promising bin. Oh, yes. Yes. All kinds of parts. Shocks. We got drivers, all kinds of Vanquish in here. This has got to be a very of parts. We got more shocks. Hey, there's the old chassis. Got gears. Stuff. Now, I know I put together a set of links for this rig. I know I did. And the question is, where did they go? The other question is, where's Terrell? Where's Terrell? There's Terrell. Just switch over to Terrell.
We got axle.
Where's Terrell? Where's Terrell? There's Terrell. Ahoy! There they are. Anybody remember Chips Ahoy? Literally the worst cookies in the universe. And I've been all over the Milky Way, and I've yet to find a worse cookie than Chips Ahoy. Really tastes like they just melted a bunch of wax into a foam. Like, yeah, this is a cookie, they'll believe it. Put this fantastic before I break it. Couple of wrong notes there for you. Yes. All right, we got links. Oh, now I need screws for the lower pockets. This is going to be a travesty today, trying to find everything. That's all right, though. Sometimes you got to go backwards to go forwards. I don't know who said that, or if it's even a real quote, but I'm going to use it today. All right, we got some bent links. We got some other bent links. We got some more bent links. These all look to be the same. Link length. Yep. Bet you we can use those. And these look like some uppers. So we'll just see. We shall just see. What better way than just doing it? Hey, bonus points if anybody knows the links needed for the Sherpa chassis. I could totally have prepared for this. But that takes the fun. These might be a little short. These might be real short. I don't think. We'll just do the lowers. How many? Oh, wow. I don't know what kind of job tube at 3 Central Time or 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time or 2 o'clock Mountain or 1 o'clock over in California. I think they're the only state that's in that Western time zone. But whatever y'all do for a living, you should tell. Y'all should be working right now. But maybe not.
Check on the audio, see if we need to go up or down on how that sounds.
Yeah, how's the audio, y'all? Is it loud enough? Is it popply and crackly? Is it just right? Is it Little Red Riding Hood? Is that the... No.
We're not in the Goldilocks. This is audio.
How bad is it?
Cutting out.
Audio is cutting out. Is it... That's what I like to do whenever telemarketers call. Hey, cutting out. Haha, you know why those links were improper for the uppers? It's because this is a 3-link vehicle. So of course, the uppers aren't going to be right. Maybe the audio was clipping. What if I talk softer? If I talk softer, but then maybe it won't clip as much. Can you understand me when I talk softly?
I can hear every other word. Keep chopping.
Maybe it's your internet connection. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
We are working with some new settings here, though.
Yeah, we've got
Dial it
some
in as we go.
got some new settings. Brand new computer, because evidently you need Windows 10 to stream. My least favorite OS of all time. Do. I need one of you in the comments to play the rest for me.
People are asking what kind of axles those are sitting there.
Aha, these are the super shafty Capra axles with super shafty brass outers. Nice and heavy. These things are, it's gonna be a beefcake of a rig. Now I get to find set screws in a sea of parts. My friend Daniel has become my assistant for a while, my executive assistant, and he really needed. And he did a great job of putting like parts with like parts, and just really. But unfortunately, to where everything. So it was to find in here just a little bit, but probably less time trying to find all the parts as compared to searching through all of the mess. Rough audio. I wonder. Transmitter. Let's try switching to D, maybe. Do. We are on D. Let us know if it is still working. Popping just the same. Well, we might have to go to a wired mic setup. And if that is not the problem, then it is more than likely our internet connection.
Wait, D seems better?
D is better. I could also move my lav. This is supposed to be like a 300 feet pack, though. So many parts. So many parts.
Yeah, it's a loose connection. Thread.
It does have a hard snap.
It doesn't thread on there?
Well, it's got a little keeper. It's a mini XLR. What happens if I hit it? It pops.
Leave it on the table for a little.
Oh, go have to.
Put your pack in the pocket.
Oh dear.
We got people from Kirksville. We got
Apologies about that big mic pop you're going to hear in a second. There. Now we shall keep this transmitter up and see if it's any better. Oh yeah, I'm going to be pulling parts off the table with this.
You want to center that top cam up?
Over.
Just zoom it out?
Oh yeah. Bam! Look at that. It's almost like we know what we're doing here. Don't believe him. All right, back to searching. Let's see, we got some scale shocks. You know, I'm probably gonna need shocks on this Sherpa build. I got these 80 millimeters, I'll go ahead and pull them out. Also got some deluxe around here somewhere that I bought specifically for it. No telling where they are.
Audio's better.
Ah, audio is better. So evidently the 300 feet range is more like 10. We'll end up getting a hard mic set up or whatever you want to call it. Hey, my deluxe shocks. There we go. I can hear myself in the background, and it's a little weird. I almost feel like I could do some sort of a cappella with myself. Start a little do 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 do. It's gonna any time now. I'm gonna hear the loop.
Your buddy Rob in Scotland says the audio's doing better now.
Yay! Thank you for the feedback. That definitely helps while we figure out this first real live stream, because y'all probably saw the other live stream that was accidental. I mean, we totally meant to do it. That wasn't an accident. We just wanted to fool you is all. That's right. Now, tools. Tools don't belong in the parts bin. Parts belong in the parts bin. Hey, more tools, more tools, more tools. I will need a servo horn. What else? Hey, more tools. Metric Allen cup point screws, which I will not need because they're 4 millimeter. Should have gotten 3 millimeter. Yes, the mini hot racing conversion kit for the SCX24 discontinued before they were even really released. Very typical. Oh. Ooh, there's stuff in here that I can't show you. We got some prototype parts mixed in with my peanut butter. Ooh, and some brass. Yeah. I get some brass pivot balls. I believe that these are a little bit wider than the normal Traxxas ones, so we won't have the slop back and forth. Let's take a look. Maybe they're the same. Who knows?
Hey, I'm gonna bump the bit rate up slowly on the stream.
All right.
Double check and see like when people say it starts getting choppy again or something.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna bump up the bit rate on our live streaming. Let us know if it starts getting choppy. We should have enough bandwidth, but you know the old saying about horseshoes and hand grenades. Is that the right one? Or are we playing horseshoes right now? Is this a sensible thing to be talking about? Well, it's going to be trouble putting these lower links in without the set screws that came with the kit that got replaced somewhere thanks to me telling somebody to do it for me, of course. I'm going to wager that this is the most exciting live stream I've ever done. Searching for parts in a bin. Yep, I don't think the set screws are in this one. But we found our shocks. Now, can I move far enough? All right. Lower links. Gonna throw some of these Vanquish brass pivot balls on them. Maybe get a little slop out of it. We shall see. It also means I need my ball pliers. What's a man to do without his ball pliers? There we are. Keep us updated on the bit rate. Let us know if there is any problems with dropped frames, or maybe my voice is getting garbly again, or
We're slowly increasing it. Like, some people said the picture's looking better.
picture's looking better. Good, good.
And then we did skipping again, so I went too far.
Skipping again. Too far. Too far. Abort. Abort. Man. I haven't taken a look at these little brass pivot bushings from Vanquish. These are nice little machine pieces. It looks like they turn them on their screw machine. I know they got a bunch of like Swiss lathe style machines at this point, at least one, because I saw it running with my own eyes. And if they're not running these in the house, really doesn't matter, but then whoever is machining them is doing a pretty good job. Let's see, it might even say on the package. I would not imagine that this would be a part that we would really need to run in the U.S. and be... Oh, this one is made in the USA. Yeah, nice. So they're running them on their screw machine. Again, not that it really matters, but they have the capabilities to do it, so why not? Yes. Right, so we will use these wider pivot bushings on the axle side, and then we will use the standard ones on the skid plate size because it uses the standard width of the Traxxas.
So for anybody that's tuning in, tell them what you're doing. What you got going on? Because we're up to 69.
Oh, nice. All right. So for people just now tuning in, we are testing the settings on our live stream setup. Just got ourselves a Windows 10 computer, which, yeah, I love Windows 10. We're testing it out, and I am currently building on the Capra, the competition HolmesHobbies TGH Capra chassis with the TGH forward motor mount and transfer case, super shafty axles, and of course, HolmesHobbies electronics. And let's see, are our links going to go on the inside or outside? Looks like links on the inside, shocks on the outside. We'll see how that does. If that is not the way to do it, then let me know in the comments so that I can avoid unbolting and bolting this thing back together yet again. All right, this is the front axle. I am pretty sure these are the proper front. How can we tell which is the heavy spring and which is the medium spring? They're the same color. Looks like they're not the same diameter, though. We just feel them. Yeah, I can't tell the difference. I'll bolt them up. If it's wrong, I'll switch them. There we are. Looks like these need to be cycled a couple times. Might need a little more preload in that spring or something. A little stiff. All right, what's the length on them? They are longer than the incision shocks, so I will use them because these were the ones I was supposed to get. And we'll deal with tuning them later. All right, yep, we're on the screen. Let's see, I'll zoom this in so I can kind of see what I'm doing. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Yeah, so just testing out the new live stream setup and doing a little wrenching. And honestly, I don't get to do a lot of wrenching. The most frequent time for me to wrench is when we are filming. And honestly, it's doing a project like this is so many hours that I kind of feel bad only wrenching on it when we film. But live stream, on the other hand, could be a really good time for me to, take a moment, be able to wrench for an hour or two, not have to have, another hour or two of editing in there, although I'm sure Andrew is much faster than that on editing. It would be if I'm going to edit. It takes a long time, and boy, let me tell you, you don't want me editing. Not everybody is good at everything, and the one thing that I'm definitely not good at is editing video. And why is that? Because I have no practice at it. And why do I not have any practice at it? Because I have no interest in doing it. So it's kind of a catch-22 where I'm probably never going to be a good editor. So next time you hear me complaining about how I'm a bad editor, you should remind me that it's my own personal choice and laziness that is driving this problem in my life. I'm like, oh, we can't release another video this week because I don't have enough time to edit. I'd never say that.
Jay Burris says those shocks don't have fluid in them. They don't come with fluid.
Oh, really? I got these built. Let's take a look. Empty. Thank you for the tip, Jay Bird.
Jay Burris.
Jay Burrs. I need to be able to read it. But, hey, that's probably why they're not smooth, eh? Do I have shock oil here? I don't think I came prepared for bleeding shocks today. But let's look. There's a chance. You're saying there's a chance. Shock oil. No, it's going to be at my house. Because evidently I only make shocks at my house. That's a lie. I haven't built shocks for years. I could probably find some, but not right now. So yeah, that's why they're not smooth, huh? Because they don't have any shock fluid in them. You learn.
Have you tried filling with Mountain Dew?
No, but I've tried turning it off and turning it back on again, and it didn't work. But, Mountain Dew would probably be a close second to 20-weight oil based on how fast it goes through my body. All right. So any of you that are longtime viewers will remember how reluctant I was to getting ball link pliers, ball stud pliers, whatever, ball end pliers. I was like, oh, just one more tool. One more tool. I don't need more tools. But it turns out that this was the one tool that I did actually need. And evidently building a rig from scratch, you use this literally hundreds of times. Okay, not literally, but nearly. Nearly, especially when you have to undo your work and redo your work like me. You end up redoing a bunch. All right, so I have not included these brass pivot balls in any of the videos where I was building on this, and I feel like I really should have, because this build would not be going together. I'd have to be using little bitty washers, which are a pain in the butt. If any of y'all remember some of the first axial releases where they had, I guess, standard width balls, and then they included these teeny little washers. It was like a 1/4 millimeter washer or something that you had to install next to every single ball on the rig, and it was the largest pain in the butt. Because you can imagine there's not much room to get it in there, so you have to use like needle nose pliers or something. Just a huge pain. Huge, huge pain.
People are wondering, where do you get those ball pliers?
I got these ball pliers, I think just from Amazon. They looked exactly like some of the name brand ones that were out there. However, they only cost like half the price. And of course, at the time, I didn't know that I really needed a nice set because I didn't even know that I needed them. So I didn't spend much money. But it was just some, Amazon special, $15 shipped. I also wanted them a little bit fast because we were filming that week. So the Amazon special is what they were. But it was a no-name brand. They're not even labeled on them. I guess I could call them HolmesHobbies version. And, it's probably a lot softer than the good brands like Losi and Hootie, I would imagine. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, that's some cheap material there. Not 70-75, which I would assume for something like this you would want 70-75 so that it didn't wear out constantly because you're gripping on metal shafts. But, I don't know. Maybe 70-75 would mar the steel shafts. So 60-61 is a better choice, or whatever recycled alloy that this is. But they seem to work. They're loose. They're not precision instruments by any means. But I'm not trying to hold 5 thou tolerance on this, so I think it'll be okay. All right, so now we are back to the problem of having lost my set screws. I know they're around here somewhere. Where is the question? Where? I don't know, but hey, underneath this stack of stickers, I think I found my 3-link. Let's take a look.
We're up to over 80 viewers, and people are asking, what are you building? People that just tuned in.
Aha, yes. So for everybody that is just now tuning in, we are building on the Capra. It is a LCG cheater rig type competition, Dealy Bob, and this is the Sherpa. Yeah, it uses Capra axles. These are super shafty Capra axles with the Sherpa chassis, the HH-TGH collaboration chassis, which I cannot take any credit for the geometry of the chassis. I offered lots of mental support in this particular project, and Chris, being the go-getter that he is, just designed everything himself and tested everything himself. He sent stuff to me too, and I gave him some feedback, but this, even though there's the HolmesHobbies logo, there's the HolmesHobbies name on it, I don't want to take anything away from Chris for the extreme amount of effort and love that he put into this design. So, yeah, so we're building it, and I am looking for set screws. I had a little bag of them. Have you seen my set screws? Please, sir, can I have a set screw? Hey, random screws. Yeah, yep. Oh, these are drive shaft screws. That's nice. I certainly hope that we didn't lose any of those parts. Yeah, all right. So, I may get a little crackly here. I'm going to put this in my pocket, and I seem to be missing. Let's see. Hey, this is looking promising. It is crackly. All right, back up here. Well, I searched through this old bin of parts. Yes, you can tell how old this bin is by what is inside. Hey, we got some more lighting. We got some, oh yeah, that's a good one there. That's a good one there. So this is an original, let me get on camera. There we go. This is an original lower gear set. Oh, can we get some overhead cam? If we're not already, you're probably already on it. There we go. All right, so this is the lower gear set for the AX10/SCX10. Let's get some backup on that. So, all right. So, hey, look at that. It's only got a D shaft. It doesn't have a set screw hole. This is, let's see, that was machined, if I remember correctly. This was machined by Fastlane Machine. There's a chance it may have been a Robinson Racing, but if I remember correctly, that was a prototype from Fastlane Machine that he had sent me. And yeah, back in the day when we didn't even have cross holes or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, all right. Well, I found some pinions in here that I'm going to shove into my pinion box at least while I'm sorting through stuff.
I bumped the bit rate up. One guy said it's lagging. Check, see if anybody else is seeing that lag.
Yep. Y'all seen any lag out there? We bumped the bit rate up a little bit again, I do believe. Just give us feedback on that. We're trying to tune it in to what we got on the internet. You know, I hear they got all kinds of internet out in California. All the internet you could need. We're going to go out to California and get us some of that internet. All right, it's probably going to get crackly again. Need to look for some parts. Still not finding them. Got to get these set at some point in time. All right. So, ancient trick. What I'm going to do to find these cross pins is start taking bins apart. And then we put it into another bin. So you have to have at least one extra bin for this life hack to work. Yes, the biggest Mountain Dew can ever. It gave me so much energy. I'm already starting to crash. All right, bunch of plastic stuff. TRX4. Nope, not in there. Oh, let's see, bunch of plastic stuff from, it looks like the SMT 10 maybe. I see a skull face, yeah. Or maybe that's maybe that came with the Rift or something. Well, I don't know. Don't matter. Don't matter. All right, how's that bit rate doing? Are we dropping out?
Seems like we're good.
We doing good?
We're gonna keep cranking it up.
Sweet. We're going to keep cranking it up until it starts skipping. All right, I got lots of screws, no set screws. So, here we go. Here's a bin. Here's a nice bin. We got a fancy armature. We got a 13 quadruple X in here. Something that we're not going to be making for anybody. I got a bin for that. Oh, this looks like a good box for Capra parts. Or Sherpa parts. Capra, Sherpa. You know what I mean. All right, all kinds of VP in here. You can't tell I got a problem with wheels. By problem, I mean it's a good thing. Lots of wheel parts. All right, we got some super shafty parts. We got ring gears. We got outers. What's that? Ah ha ha! There we go. I found it. Cool. All right, that is what I was looking for. These parts can go to the wayside. Yeah, keep us updated in the comments on the bit rate. Let me know if the audio is still doing good, if we are dropping any frames, or what have you. Because we won't be able to tell unless you tell us. All right, I am excited that I found these set screws because that means that I can continue with this build. But I think I may switch out the motor. I'm sure I'm going to bolt all of this together and it's going to be, hard to get it back apart. But this is the prototype for the 6-shooter. And of course it's the exact same as the 6-shooter, which I don't know. Y'all got to let me know. You're running the 6-shooter. How do you like it? I find it to be maybe a little soft on throttle response and drag brake as compared to the Polar Pro. However, it does have a slightly smoother startup. But that also makes it slightly, mushy on the throttle? But to tell you the truth, that is old school problems. And as we get better and better with our own ESCs, I'm going to be able to solve that so that we can essentially take the worst starting motor in the world and make it start smooth. Really exciting times. Just all kinds of advancements in the motor controller realm. the chip makers are making advancements. I imagine you're probably going to see 32-bit architecture coming from all of the big players within the next few years. Not necessarily because they want to, but because they either have to or they can't get their old chips anymore. Although 8-bit certainly works fine. There is absolutely nothing wrong with 8-bit controllers. 32-bit just gives us a lot more processing overhead. So for things like FOC and torque vectoring, it's kind of going to be the way to go. All right, let's see if this Vanquish 1.5 millimeter driver will get me all the way into the pocket. These skid plates are super nice, by the way. I forget who cuts them. Vader, maybe? I think maybe Vader that cuts them, but it's got a bevel to both edges of it, the sides of it. We've got, reliefs on the pocket, just very nice. It's only machined in a few planes, but it looks like there's some fixturing so that when they do this cut and that cut to give it a bevel, it looks like that's a refixtured job. Either that or they're running it on a 4-axis or something like that. Oh no, don't really matter, I guess. But I must say, the machine work and the shaping to that skid plate is pretty sexy. I appreciate stuff like that, really do. And being a ex-machinist / current prototype machinist, I guess I got an eye for it. How about yourself? Any of y'all machinists? Any of y'all appreciate good machine work? There we go, we're getting closer. Let's see, we want this to be right side up. Super Shafty logo visible. There we go. Or maybe there's some trick to doing this. I've never been able to get all this smoothly together without a bunch of fiddling. Not to be confused with any other instrument. Oh yeah, it's extremely difficult. Maybe I should do it upside down. Oh, what a thought. Now there seems to be room. And it seems as live streams go, I should let you know once again what we're doing. I am assembling the Sherpa chassis from Team Garage Hack with super shafty Capra axles. We've got the forward motor mount with the 15% overdrive transfer case. And right now I'm using essentially the 6-shooter motor in there, the prototype of the 6-shooter. And we'll see if I stick with it, but yeah, that's what we're doing. We're bolting that together. Nothing special. If y'all have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I won't actually get to them, but my buddy behind the camera will, and then he'll let me know what they are so we can play a little game of telephone. And then I can mispronounce your screen name. So just a little carpal tunnel action here. Wrench, wrench, wrench. Yep. Pretty exciting stuff, I must say. Although, I guess it could be worse. We just edited up a video on this, me assembling the axle, and I think, what'd you trim it down to? Trimmed it down to like 20-something minutes of wrenching, even though it took me 40 minutes to get the axle assembled. The magic of editing. Did you get that splash screen uploaded?
We haven't got that fully figured. You got a guy asking a question though. He says, in the near future, will the Crawlmaster silencer ever be able to run the R540L and the 4274S with or without a sensor wire?
No. All right, so the question was, will the Crawlmaster Mini be able to run the 540L sized Puller Pro? I think that's what the question was. The 4100R. No. The Crawlmaster Mini is a very mini controller. Currently, it has a kV limit with a 4-pole of 2700 kV. And with higher pole counts, it's a little bit lower. And if you want to run 4S on it, we're currently limited to 1400 kV, but that is an artificial limit that we are going to be able to increase with software because of the way that it starts up. With the higher voltage and higher kV motors, it just makes too much heat right now. But very fixable in software, which we are already working on. In the future, am I going to have a Crawlmaster ESC large enough to run the 540L size? Yes, we are working on that. However, who knew that making ESCs is really hard? It's going to take a lot of time to get there, for sure, but we're working on that. I also am working on an OEM with Castle at the same time. This will be a re-release of the Trailmaster BL controller. It will be censored. It will be based off of their newest architecture, and that one will actually be able to run that 4100R right out of the gate. It's a larger 12 FET design, and yeah, so we're certainly working on that. But right now, as motor speed controllers go, it's a lot easier to start with a small one and work our way up to more powerful ones rather than trying to come out of the gate with a big old beefy guy just, first thing. That's a good way to burn up some parts, have some fires, find out that, hey, our gate drivers didn't quite handle that very well. So start small, just like any other project. Really long-winded answer, I realize, for what you asked. But yeah, at the time, the Crawlmaster Mini cannot run rock racer style motors. It is not meant for rock racing. It is meant for slow and steady crawling. All right, so now what I need to do is find my 3-link. I forget which link that is. This one looks close. It needs to be a little longer. That one's shorter. This one is just a hair longer. All right, ooh, and it's got a little bend to it as well. So I'm going to assume that this is it. But you know what they say about assumptions. All righty. Yep. Oh, that's probably the steering link. So this one would be our pan hard. Maybe. Once again, I could have probably prepared more and read all about what I'm putting together first so that I would know what I'm doing.
We got a question about the 6-shooter.
Yeah, a question about the 6-shooter.
Can reducing the punch control in a Castle ESC help with a little bit of mushiness?
No. So the question is, will adding punch control in a Castle ESC software help with the mushiness of the 6-shooter? And the answer is no. The mushiness of the 6-shooter is because it is a 6-pole motor. It is also a very small motor. And it is a 6-pole that does not have a larger rotor than our 4-pole, which means that the 4-pole is actually going to have an advantage as far as the mushiness or the solid feel as you're going through a load. The punch control will prevent you from browning out if you grab a whole lot of throttle at once, but it will not keep the motor running at a more constant RPM. What will help is using a larger ESC, using a larger battery, and getting as much gear down as possible in your rig. That helps for any system at all. So no matter what motor that we are using, if you want to have the best throttle feel, bolt up, gear down. Always, always, always. So if you have a mushy throttle feel and you're currently running 3S and your ESC will support it, go to 4S and then gear down accordingly to get more RPMs out of the motor and actually less torque needed to push the tires at the same load. That will get you a more constant rate. That will actually get you lower startup speed and get you a better, more consistent throttle feel as you're going through objects. So, in short, volt up, gear down. I could have just said that. But, yeah, that's what you want to do. Also, large ESC, large battery helps, but those are kind of marginal unless you're using a micro ESC or something like that. Now, this is not the question that you asked, but the Crawlmaster ESC will actually help with the mushiness. The way that the Crawlmaster drives the motor, it prevents it from stalling out once it gets down to an RPM where we have no more back EMF. Once we get down to that point, the ESC forces the motor to continue spinning. And this is, in a lot of ways, similar to what the Hobbywing Axe does with their RPM, except for it is only used in that low range, and it is not used once you get into upper ranges. Once that back EMF is kicking, we don't have the RPM lock on there. And that gives you both an RPM lock when you're going slow, but then also you get torque feedback when you're going just a little bit faster. When you're going fast enough that it actually matters to be able to anticipate when you have a bind on there, it's a really good feeling controller. So long answer short, the Crawlmaster ESC will actually keep the 6-shooter from stalling out down low. It forces it. It kind of strong arms it into compliance. And now what I need is a screw. I need a screw, and I know where they used to be, but I don't know where they are now. So I'm just gonna take a look. Take a look and see. Good questions, by the way. Very good questions. And I put the screws. Here's some screws. Coming up on an hour. Wow. Live streaming that long, that fast, huh?
You got another question if you want to take one?
Yeah, let's take another question.
That's about a Crawlmaster Mini.
Mm-hmm.
Can you use the Crawlmaster Mini with the snub nose 2500 kV revolver?
The question is if we can use the Crawlmaster Mini with a snub nose 2500 kV revolver. The answer is yes, if it is a 10-pole version right now. I believe with the software we may be able to open it up for the 14-pole in the future, but all of our new 2500 kV revolvers are 10-pole. So if it's on the site now and available, then it's going to be a 10-pole. The reason for the running change is that the 14-pole, man, it's working that stator hard. It really, really pushes the Outrunner stator hard with a 14-pole. So we dropped down to the 10-pole, and that also made the Crawlmaster Mini much happier. Not really a direct answer, I suppose, to that question, but yes, if you have a 10-pole version, the Crawlmaster Mini will work with the 2500 kV revolvers, but it has to be the 10-pole. Good question. And, oh, there it is. Let's say I lost it. I already lost my link. Yeah, and the reason that I changed the Revolver 2500 from 14 to 10 pole was both because of the heat issues that some people have with the 14 pole, but it was also for the Crawlmaster Mini specifically because I really like the way that it drives, and I wanted to have that KV of Revolver for myself. And yeah, so it was kind of, what's the word for it? I did it for me, but at the same time, I knew that customers would probably want it too. So I did it for all of you, but as most designs go, I did it for me first. It was really something that I wanted for me. All right, so it looks like our wheelbase is going to be a little bit long with this 3-link. If we can go to the overhead camera view. All right, so just zooming in here on the 3-link, you can see that the 3-link is going at an angle instead of being straight across back and forth. That lets me know that I probably have too long of links on the lowers right now. Not a big deal, but that's kind of part of it when you get into a build without being prepared. But yeah, I mean, that's not, it might work. I'll do a little bit of research after we end today to make sure that when I come back to wrench, I'll have the proper links already set out and ready to go. But yeah, so I'm going to just bolt it up as is. I want to keep everything together. I don't want to be continuously looking for the same parts over and over again, which seems to happen when I don't spend enough time on a build. I kind of let the workspace get away from me and all the parts get away from me. That's the worst part about having too many projects is it's hard to keep them together sometimes.
Got a guy looking for a quiet pair of servos for a low medium budget build.
All right, I have a.
It's on a G-Mander R1.
All right, G-Made R1. We have somebody in the comments that is looking for a quiet servo that's in the budget range, which I imagine is going to be less than $100. And I do not know of any of them, actually. Most of the lower cost servos are going to be very audible because it's honestly cheaper to build them in the audible range. A servo that does not make audible noise means that it is switching above about 18 kilohertz. To switch a MOSFET above 18 kilohertz requires a fairly stout driver for them. And stouter drivers are more expensive. Or you can use more expensive MOSFETs inside, and they are easier to drive because they will usually have a lower gate charge. But again, it's more expensive. And when you're talking about saving money, that is never where they want to put their quality in. In a budget servo, they basically skimp on everything that they possibly can. The cheapest MOSFETs, the cheapest drivers, the cheapest wires on there. The motors are not constructed that great. The gears are not very beefy. The pins are not nice. The case probably has plastic in it. And now I'm just ranting about servos. So I do not know what you could do for a quiet, low-cost servo right now. I'll keep my ear out. I'll keep my ear out to see if there's anything in the market that may fit that bill. Maybe I can come out with something like that in the future. I kind of want to stray away from the low-cost servos because they break really easily. So that's kind of a tough point to deal with. But I'll see what we can do. That may be something that I can help out on. I will at least look into it. All right. Obviously, maybe not the right parts on here. Yeah, I think that panhard is a little too short because everything is shifted over one way. It's curved. Yeah, let's look at this overhead again. Our axle isn't lined up straight with the with everything else, so you can kind of see when I pass those hard edges. Yeah. Oh well. We'll just kind of get everything together right now and move on because that's.
We have a couple more questions though.
Hey, some more questions.
Do you think I'll run into problems with overworking an ESC with the Crawlmaster Mini? He's got a 2200 kV revolver. It's running VS GSP chassis with a Banjo treads.
All right. So the question was Crawlmaster Mini combined with a 2200 kV revolver. Is it okay? And the answer is yes, it is completely fine. Right now, you will be limited to 3S use. But in the future, we will be able to unlock 4S use. Otherwise, you're good to go. Crawlmaster Mini was pretty much designed for the Revolver motors. And on 3S use, absolutely, you can do a 2200 kV version. And all of these specs are still found on the website for the Crawlmaster themselves. So if at any point in time you got questions about what the limits are, we do have them listed on the actual product page. Good questions.
What about a basic Element Enduro brushless electronics?
Yeah.
Trailer, crawl truck.
So the Element Enduro is probably one of my favorite trucks overall right now. It's maybe not the stoutest, but it is certainly a good platform. Basic brushless. So what I would suggest is go with a Revolver in there if you're looking for low cost. If noise is going to be an issue for you, then don't get a Castle system. We're going to be having more and more releases of our Crawlmaster Mini, which combine, this is the platform that I tested in most heavily. So something like a 1800 kV Revolver combined with a Crawlmaster Mini controller is going to give you silent operation, really good low-speed control, and also not that bad on the price. If you are okay with some noise on there, you can get pretty much any of the Castle ESCs. You can use a miniature Castle ESC. They've got a Micro X. They have the Sidewinder 2 Micro available that are pretty low cost. And the Revolvers themselves are not the highest cost in brushless. If you really wanted to go budget-wise, you could get some like eBay Outrunner, 35mm Outrunner, but you're going to have to deal with a 5mm shaft, which isn't going to give you good gear down options. And it's probably not going to start up that smooth either because a lot of those Outrunners, it's a compromise a lot of times. I spent a lot of time on the magnetics for the Revolver to ensure that it was both smooth and also torque dense. The ones that you get that are generic rebadged airplane motors, unfortunately, if it starts smooth, it is not torque dense unless it's freaking huge. And if it is torque dense, then it generally doesn't start smooth. But, I'm on the like 6th different magnetic design for the Revolver at this point just to get it smooth starting. Now, caveat on that, the Crawlmaster Mini controller will actually start up any Outrunner smooth. So if it's a 14 pole, it's going to have the same startup RPM no matter what. Doesn't matter what the KV is. It doesn't matter what the design is. It doesn't matter about the detent torque. It doesn't matter anything. We force it to start up smooth. So that would be an option. Crawlmaster Mini controller combined with any old eBay sort of special 35 millimeter. Not something that I'm going to recommend really, because you kind of don't know what you're going to get, and a lot of times they really aren't tuned for crawler. Well, no times they're tuned for crawler. There is only one Outrunner on the market that is actually designed for a crawler, and the rest are rebadged Outrunners for airplanes. And the reason why I know this is because I know all of the OEMs and know exactly where everybody gets everything made. And that's what happens when you've been in the market for 16 years now. Yeesh. Yeah, so the answer that you didn't know that you wanted, I guess.
They want answers on shirts. You got any in the
shirts, yes, we do need to order. We are aware that we need to order new shirts. And I've got new employees now, and they don't have shirts because we haven't had their size since they started working for us. So we are on that. I should write it on my list. I'll write it on this list. This list, hey, this is the list I was looking for. I thought I lost it the other day. Cool. All right. Let's put it on my list side of list things. Make sure y'all aren't looking at my list. Top secret stuff. Yep. We need to do that. We need to do that. We got another, Oh, nice. Hey, 100 viewers for a first live stream of a channel that never live streams. That's not so bad. So I appreciate you tuning in when you should be at work. And I've already forgot. What am I writing down? Shirts. That's right. Order shirts. And now back to telling you that you should be at work right now. I'm at work. Why aren't you working? Maybe let me know in the comments what you do for a living that allows you to be on a live stream. Okay, if you're on East Coast time, you've been off of work for 10 minutes maybe. But otherwise, y'all should all be at work. So let me know what you do. Maybe you work night shift or something like that.
It's 10 o'clock in the UK.
Oh, it's 10 o'clock in the UK. That makes sense. Okay. I forget that, the world has a bunch of different sides to it.
But the RC Dabbler is at work.
The RC Dabbler is at work. All right. So must have a job where they're not looking over your shoulder. Or maybe they are okay with you spending time on the internet. RC Dabbler. I'm not a dabbler. I'm not a dabbler. Does anybody know what show that's from? I'm not a dabbler. I promise I'm not a dabbler.
Oh, it's 11 o'clock in the Netherlands.
Oh, 11 in the Netherlands. Well, you should be in bed. I mean, what are you doing watching this when you could be getting a good night's rest? Obviously. Life choices, people. You got to make good life choices, or else you'll never be what your parents probably thought that you should be when you were growing up. Y'all probably had parents like me. It's like, you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer. And if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, you're an engineer. And if you're not an engineer, then you're a failure. It's kind of the talks that happened in my house, because, everybody's doctors and lawyers in my family. Nobody is doctors and lawyers in my family.
We got IT people, we got police officers,
nice.
We got manufacturing people.
Oh, nice spread.
IT security.
IT security, what does that involve? Like, do not unplug it. I'll have to put a...
Self-employed.
Self-employed, yes. See, that is why I am here today doing this, is that I'm self-employed. It grants me the freedom to work all day and night and on the weekends.
We got some people recovering from back surgery. You know about recovering.
Ooh, yes, recovering from back surgery. I do not envy you. I wish you all the best as far as healing and your physical therapy. And please, please be careful with those pain medications, because they don't actually kill the pain. They just end up making you addicted to the pain pills, unfortunately. And I was only on them for like 2 weeks after my knee surgery. And I had terrible withdrawals from them. And my mother, bless her heart, was like, there's no way you can have withdrawals after 2 weeks. And unfortunately, I know what withdrawals feel like already. So it was, skin crawling, just like that weird itchy, like I want to take a bite out of somebody, just like give me another pill. but the pills made me sick at the same time. Really weird situation. Oh yeah, I don't want to put that down there. That interrupts our feed. So, all right. I actually need to go get the kids soon and get dinner going. So I think it is about time to call this good. I promise next time I will do a little bit more research so I know what lengths I need for this build, and we're going to get a little further along. But hey, it kind of looks like something now. It's getting there. Feel free to continue commenting after it's posted. We're going to post this afterwards. I think it'll give you a place to comment or whatever. Any questions? Yeah, let me know if you liked it. Give thumbs up and all that kind of good stuff. Is this the sort of thing that you would like to watch? I think I could probably work in one live stream a week, if nothing else. It is nice to have my cameraman back there reading off stuff, but sometimes we may not be able to do it. Now I'm going to try to juggle it all myself. And if you've ever seen me juggle, you'll know that I'm a terrible juggler. So we'll just leave it at that. So as always, I do thank you for tuning in. I hope this was enjoyable for you to tune in and watch me search for parts. Such is my life right now, but that's all right. And at any rate, I thank you and have a good day.